Hi folks, my name's Dave and today we're travelling back in time to the mid to late 1800s at Abbey House Museum in Kirkstall, Leeds. Here a life-sized replica of a selection of traditional village shops and homes are available to explore. If you're new here then a very warm welcome to you, and if you're a return visitor then as always it's a pleasure to welcome you back. You'd think that over 160 plus years the world would change significantly, and when you imagine 160 years into the future, such a change is likely what you'd expect. However, on visiting Abbey House Museum, I was shocked to discover just how little things had actually changed. This is Taylor's Drug Company Limited, the chemist. As you can see, the chemist provides a vast array of products including perfume. Granted, there's no modern day hair straighteners or 3 for 2 Christmas offers on toiletries in this shop, but today you'd likely call this shop either Boots or Superdrug. Here we have W. Mann's, which today might be called Dunelm Mill. Whilst the outside of the shop suggests textiles and home furnishings, the interior acts as an interactive centre with a method, via yes or no answers, to suggest what sort of job would suit you in the 1800s. You'll notice around the museum posters and street furniture, all of which you would expect to see back then. Of course you still expect to see it today. In fact, most people are so used to seeing such items that they go unnoticed. In fact, I bet after watching this video you yourselves notice more posters and advertisements. If you do, come back to this video later on and let me know in the comments. Tastes may have changed over the last 160 years, but in the 1860s pottery was a big thing. The Leeds Fireclay Company Limited has a fine range of products for sale. Of course today that range would be much wider and include all sorts of figurines and models. Popplewell & Co may look like a modern corner shop or off-licence, but it is in fact the supermarket. Although much smaller than modern supermarkets, most of the same items could be purchased here then as can be purchased in your local supermarket today. No need for shopping trolleys here though, and certainly no waiting for one queue to go down only to have the neighbouring one open up after 15 minutes. The ironmongers sell a huge range of items from necessities of the day to what could be considered then as modern gadgets. Lamps, vacuum cleaners, pots and pans, even lawnmowers would have been purchased from here. Today you can buy many of these items at many different well-known shops, although today those shops would sell a host of other items too. After a long afternoon of shopping, why not stop off for a drink at the pub, the Hark and Rover? Look out though, as the doorway to the pub is quite low. I banged my head here quite hard and it really hurt. In a way it was quite fitting that there was no warning, because there wouldn't have been such a warning in the day. To display one now would kind of spoil things a little, but perhaps a warning before the entrance to the museum would have been nice. There might have actually been one that I just didn't pay attention to. Either way, I'm not complaining, I'm just giving you the heads up. Again, the pub is quite similar to what today you would think of as a traditional pub. A few pictures on the wall, a few small tables. All that's missing really is an all-you-can-eat salad bar. It's time to leave the high street now and make our way to Abbey Fold, one of the side streets. As well as a few more shops, the home of some of the local residents and shopkeepers are situated here. As you can see, the home is quite small. A good job really, because this would have been the only fire in the home. A larger home would have been much more difficult and expensive to keep warm, especially in winter. Don't forget, there were no double glazed windows back then and no cavity wall insulation. The barbers again are quite similar to those of today. In fact, many modern barbers display the barber pole outside their shops, perhaps not fully understanding the negative history it represents. I won't go into details here about that, but I'll give a little explanation in the comments below about it, so if you're interested, don't forget to take a look at those comments after you've finished watching this video. The newsagents again are very similar today to how they were 160 years ago. Many modern newsagents still display different newspapers outside the shops for potential customers to browse. I don't know the law in other parts of the world, but here in the UK, one of the most recent changes would be the display of cigarettes and tobacco products. The pawnbrokers is the place you'd expect to purchase anything else you wanted. That is, if the pawnbroker himself didn't keep all the best things. In the pawnbroker's house you can see quite a unique collection of belongings in a lavish, albeit mismatched, living space. Notice the increased space here over the cottage we visited a few moments ago. One shop you're less likely to find today is the wholesale tobacco pipe manufacturers. I'm unsure whether the local residents would have been able to purchase their pipes from the wholesaler themselves, or if they would have had to go to the newsagents. Towards the lower end of the street we have the jewellers, where you could buy your clocks, ornaments and of course your jewellery, just like modern jewellers, and the toy shop. This toy shop also sold glass and chinaware, both things I personally wouldn't sell in a space where excited children are likely to be running around. Leaving the village now, we head upstairs to two more galleries. The museum changed the galleries on a semi-regular basis from what I understand, but personally I think there's enough here to warrant a second visit and still find plenty of enjoyment and knowledge. This particular exhibition explores the hidden dangers in everyday objects. All the exhibits are accompanied with a list of what the items are, how they're dangerous and the danger symbol associated with that danger. I know it's easy to have a few roll of the eyes moments here, and it certainly does feel like people have gone out of their way to find reasons why things are dangerous, but it's quite interesting to explore these points because they're all actually quite correct. It's funny really, because if you look at this stuff closely enough, you start to see danger everywhere and you'll never end up leaving the house. The museum also boasts a fun little penny arcade centre. You can purchase old pennies for a modern 10p each and use those on numerous different scenes. It's fantastic to see them in such good working condition. Moving towards the end of the museum is the children's storybook section. This section of the museum features scenes from Humpty Dumpty, Beatrix Potter, and a whole room dedicated to the old woman who lived in a shoe. I hope you've enjoyed this video, folks. If you are interested in following me elsewhere, then you can do so on Instagram or Twitter. My Instagram is _humble_adventures and my Twitter is humbleadventures. That's humble with no E, adventures, and that's all one word. Folks, if you enjoy this video, please do me a huge favour and click the thumbs up button. It just gives me an idea of how this sort of topic is being received on YouTube. Also, if you're interested in receiving notifications for future uploads, hit the subscribe button and adjust the bell notification settings accordingly. In the meantime, here are a few other Leeds-based videos you might be interested in. Thanks again for watching, folks. See you soon.